we should leave the best to last, and we certainly have done that. This is the bit that I'm certainly looking forward to. The best man, Daniel Thomas. Please give him your warmest round of applause, please. Thank you.
So yes, great start, isn't it? So yes, for those of you who don't know me, I assume you'll know by now my name's Dan. I am the best man. I've known Alex for about 16 years. I think it was 1999 that we first met, which was 16 years ago, yeah. And he moved in next door as my neighbour a few years later. But yeah, we've been best friends for a long time, up until today, I'm told. Hopefully I'll get through this. But as you can imagine, you know, we're best mates. It's been a good day. We've celebrated, you know, many things: friendship, food, you know, family, and their marriage. But it's been, as you can imagine, for the best friend, or the ex. It's been tough. It has been a tough day for me. Just seeing your best friend sort of stripped away from you, and not knowing what the future holds. It's unsettling and unnerving. So if, you know, as you can imagine, 100 people looking at you, if nothing else, it gives you a sort of a greater sense of importance that you really should have. So please indulge me as I explain what I mean by this treacherous feeling of your best friend being stripped away from you by expressing this in a song. And as I was planning this, it seemed such a better idea than at the time than what it does now. Oh dear. Let's see. So Alex, this is a song for you, and it's called Alex, Please Don't Change. His first impressions weren't that great, to say the least. But soon enough he grew to be a handsome beast. With curly hair and skinny jeans, with smooth skin and muscles lean. Accomplished historian, budding theologian, we soon became friends. Our friendship grew as time went on. I'd met the one who had been missing all my life since time begun. My soulmate and my shining knight, we both boxed topless late at night. I called him my brother and sometimes my lover, but now he's gone. Alexander Passmore, I love you in every way. Your smell, your smile, your clothes, your eyes, with me will always remain. Alexander Passmore, just smile, it's your wedding day. 'Cause you've got your wife and a brand new life. But Alex, please don't change. I don't know, Beth is Beth. I don't know Beth as well as him, which is a shame. And now you're wondering if I even knew her name. My advice to Bethany, love him a lot. You're now the best friend that he's got. But you've got a good one, dull moments you'll have none with my fine man. But Alex, don't forget, you have a role to play. Encourage her to live her life godly way. But don't forget to enjoy the ride when you're together side by side. Be sure to defend her, but always remember that I loved you first. Alexander Passmore, I love you in every way. Your smell, your smile, your closed eyes with me will always remain. Alexander Passmore, just smile, it's your wedding day. 'Cause you've got your wife and a brand new life. But Alex, 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 please don't change. This wedding day has been one of the best I've known. Slightly presumptuous, 'cause I wrote this months ago. But nonetheless, I wish you well. I hold you both dear, can't you tell? In spite of our bromance, I lend you his romance till death do part. Alexander Passmore, I love you in every way. Your smell, your smile, your clothes, your eyes, with me will always remain. Alexander Passmore, just smile, it's your wedding day. 'Cause you've got your wife and a brand new life. But Alex, 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 please don't. Alex, 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 please don't. Alex, 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 please don't change. It's the first of three, so I'm not going to look at it. I think I'm joking. I'd now like to turn to Scripture and read to you, my congregation, just a few verses. So if you have your Bibles, now would be the time to grab them. Genesis 2, actually, it was read in the service. I was quite pleased. Verse 22 says, "Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, 'This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man.'" So bear that in mind. Here's a quick list for you. Adam had Eve. Joseph had Mary. Lot had Lot's wife. Not mentioned. Boaz, Ruth, or straight from biblical personalities. You've got Charles had Camilla. John had Yoko. Harry had Hermione. I read it. Was it Hermione? I don't know. Anyway, and contrary to the, how can I put it, the claims made today, Alex has Dan. Had Dan. To have and to hold until death do us part. He is, if you like, Alex, my suitable helper, my proverbial missing rib. And he's the Eve to my Adam. He was conceived approximately 2 weeks prior to my birth, but only a week if you go by due date. And for 9 months, a fine young dish was cooking in Rosie's womb. A dish. I wasn't sure, that's just science. A fine dish that served me well for 16 years and God willing will continue to serve me. And today, Alex, I'd like to take this once in a lifetime opportunity just to say that you are now bone of my bones. And no, it doesn't work, does it? I'll skip that bit. So Alex and I have a very special bond. I've mentioned already about that. An extremely close friendship, you may have guessed from the song. And many of you will know that our friendship has largely been revolved around sport. We've played all kinds of sport. We've pretty much played everything, haven't we, together? Beating them at everything. It's brilliant. It's such a morale booster. We started playing football together at the age of 8 or 9, roughly. And we still enjoy playing football together today. Well, not today, but today, figuratively speaking, in this present time, we're still members of the same team, the same club. Few of the players here today. Theo, old Gaffer, who's moved on to the green grass of Hartlepool. And we actually had, Jack, goal of the season. How can I forget? It's the only good thing you did. No. Anyway, I digress. So to this way we still play football together, and it was actually a successful season. We were promoted. We finished second in the league, which got us promotion into the higher league. But I must tell you that first place wasn't actually out of our reach, and we narrowly missed out on first place. But promotion was some consolation. But you know, I say narrowly missed out on first place. I couldn't honestly stand here and tell you that everyone was committed to the cause of winning the league. For example, when a certain centre midfielder drops out of an end of season fixture to attend an engagement photo shoot. Dropped points were inevitable. Anyway, my point is this, and allow me to stay with the sporting theme by using another sporting analogy. I'm sure, Beth, you've heard of the transfer window, yeah? And that's what this is right now. Okay, this is the transfer window. But contrary to popular belief, this is a loan deal. Okay? It's just a loan. That's what that is today. Okay, and if you don't know what that is, ask Alex. But it's a loan, and just to emphasise the fact that it's just a loan, I've written another song, and it's called "It's Just a Loan."
20 words.
Ooh. It's just a loan. That's what it's called. Different key this time, it's in G. Moved in. Should be in C, really. Moved in one door away on sunny Woodlands Drive. So beautiful a thing, our lives they truly did collide. We played all kinds of sports, from Malpas Park to court. But as you tied the knot, I just had this one thought, that we were singing We Didn't Start the Fire long before she came, and we would share a duvet and a mattress before you even knew her name. Even though you love her so, just remember it's a loan. Oh, oh, 'cause you're my Passmore. But of Beth, I do approve. I think she's very nice. And now with Neil as her father-in-law, she'll pay the price. Don't take him seriously, he says things tongue-in-cheek. My advice is just stop listening whenever he speaks. Beth, I want you to know you're very lucky to have this man right now. You fought off competition from many ladies, like Mrs Baker and Ali Powell. Even though you love her so, just remember it's a loan. Oh, 'cause you're my Passmore. A special family, Sam, Jack, Tom, Rosie, Neil. Over the years you've been incredibly good to me, and all 'cause Alex scored, you've now got Beth on board. But Alex, don't forget the boy who lived next door. my second favourite Passmore, but Rosie sets the bar quite high. And I don't want this friendship now to finish, just cause we signed on the dotted line. Even though you love her so, just remember it's alone. Oh, cause you're my Passmore. You mean so much to me, I even chose to write a bridge as well. I stand here proudly and announce our friendship is unparalleled. Beth, please take care of him, you'll find out he's a very fragile soul. And when me and Pete make plans to meet, please be so kind to let him go. Go, it's alone. And in this beautiful reception, Alex, please take my advice. Always use a form of contraception, so in 9 months you won't get a surprise. You know I'd love to be with you each moment of every single day, and you would have my unrivaled attention if Charlotte were to pass away. Even though you love her so, just remember it's such a you. Cause you're my Passmore. Just one more to come. So many of you, understandably, might be thinking, what a strange way to approach this speech. You know, it might not only, might not just offend Beth, and emphasising the fact that Alex is, in fact, the love of my life and always will be, and the fact that our friendship has grown over time to a point where the bond really is unbreakable. But it really is an offence to Beth, you might think, but that wasn't my intention at all. But you might be thinking, doesn't the best man usually stand there and crack funny stories of at the groom's expense? And you're right, that's usually what the best man does. But with Alex, it's really tough. Like there's little material that would enable me to do so. Now, of course, I have other friends that that isn't the case. I could stand here for hours sharing hilarious stories of the misfortune and plain stupidity of some friends. Isn't that right, Pete? But Alex is different. While I've been preparing this speech, which I've thoroughly enjoyed doing, I've been racking my brains for stories of that nature, where Alex is the butt of the joke, where Alex does make himself to look a bit of a clown. But pretty much every story that I have, I'm laughing with Alex and not at him, which sucks for you guys. But that really does sum up our relationship. We laugh together a lot. But before you breathe a sigh of relief, I'm sure as a history student, you'll know that, you'll know the importance of listening to the detail. And I said I have little material. Well, I have material nonetheless, because there has been the odd occasion where Alex hasn't covered himself in glory. But allow me to begin sharing with you this particular memory of mine by firstly saying how wonderful Beth is looking today. And I think you could give her a round of applause again. And I don't mean to brush over this issue and just sort of present it as a mere formality that I should say. But Beth, you really do look beautiful. You looked wonderful walking down the aisle, and it was breathtaking in the literal sense of the word. I know you've been standing next to Alex all day, which kind of exaggerates your beauty. But don't let that detract from what's happening. I mean, you really are punching above your weight, Al. Yeah. Massively. I mean, my wife's extremely attractive. We're in the same league. Anyway. But, as I said, punching above his weight, and he really is following the footsteps of his father in that sense. Neil's a nice guy, he's funny, he's got a few jokes, he's good at his DIY, but come on.
What are we going to do?
And it seems that one man in this room in particular agrees with me on this. I wonder if he knows what's coming, but it brings me back to the original memory that I was about to share. And a handful of years ago, I sat around the table of a well-known eating establishment, which will remain anonymous for legal reasons. I just purchased a McChicken sandwich, and I went large for 30p, I'm not an idiot. And myself, another one of our friends, Mike Howell, and Alex, we were sharing our hopes and dreams for the future. Jobs, wives, children. I mean, one wife, and maybe more than one child. I mean. But we went on to debate. Whether our respective levels of attractiveness would stand the test of time, and whether even our interests in levels to come, if you like, whether even our interest in looking after ourselves from a physical point of view would even remain, with time. And this led Alex to proclaim the words that will forever be etched in the memory of those present, namely Mike and I. He said, and I quote, "If you think my mum looks hot now, you should have seen her on a wedding day." Putting aside all social awareness, breaking every rule in the teenage boy's book, Alex Freud Passmore never let that down. So in response to some banter that was thrown my way when Alex was my best man and when he was giving his best man speech, yes, I may be a university dropout, but I don't fancy my mum. Speaking of university, it's at that very place that Alex and Beth met. I've already mentioned that Alex was a history student. He's now a history graduate. Congratulations. So just as Alex did for my wedding, I thought it would be both appropriate and beneficial for myself to research the origins of the sort of the role of the best man. And this is what I stumbled across. The tradition of the best man is believed to date back to the Germanic Goths of the 16th century in the United Kingdom. Did you know that? It was tradition during these times for a man to marry a local woman, as Neil would have wanted, I imagine, but problems arose when there were not enough available women in the town or locality. In these situations, a potential groom, that's you, would often consider and carry out a bride kidnapping from another town. Once the groom had identified a suitable bride, he would ask an intimate friend, best man, that's me, to assist him in the planned kidnapping of a suitable lady for marriage. So that's how I met Beth. She kicked and screamed for a while. She soon came round to it, didn't she? But joking aside for a moment, I'm speaking mainly to Beth here, but you can all listen in, obviously. It's been brilliant. It has been brilliant getting to know you, both myself and Charlotte. Getting to know you as a couple has been wonderful, and we've enjoyed your company and the time that we've spent together. And we hope that we'll continue to enjoy your company in the time that we will hopefully spend together. And you make my best friend extremely happy, so for that I'm very grateful. I'm thankful also to God that Alex is committing himself to a woman who loves Jesus. That's one of the the biggest thing that myself and Alex have in common is our individual relationship with Jesus, our love for Jesus. And it is wonderful to see that, in fact I can recall several conversations that we've had in the past about our intentions and desires to marry someone who shares that affection and love for Jesus, and to marry someone godly. And when I look at Beth, that's what I see. So I'm chuffed and thrilled that Alex has found you. As I've got to know you, you're someone who loves Jesus, who loves the church. You're involved in it, and you love people. So it's just lovely. And I really couldn't speak highly enough of you. So I know I said those things in the lyrics. And it's just alone, and a lot of that was said tongue in cheek. Like nearly 10% of it was said tongue in cheek. But I really am pleased to see who I'm passing him on to, as it were. So yeah. But what you'll soon find, Beth, actually, what you probably already know is that you're joining not only a beautiful marriage with a wonderful man, but a fantastic family. And I can really vouch for them. I've spent so much time with them. Other than my own, they are not. I was going to say probably, definitely my favourite family. They found that out the hard way because I used to impose myself on them on a daily basis, literally. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I did.
Pleasure.
Lovely. And I want to dispel the myth that I was only over there for their Sky Sports channels. That's simply not true. They also had loads of food on the go. I mean, they've probably lost count of the amount of times that they've woken up in the morning and seen me lying on their sofa, waking up. But that was part of my charm, I like to think. But they're a fantastic family, loving, generous, kind. Of course, which you would have experienced with your trip to Florida, a trip that I'm sure I would have made the cut for had you not been around. Nonetheless, it was good for you to get to know them, I guess. But as you continue to spend time with them, I'm sure you'll just realise increasingly more how special they are, and not just special in the way that Tom's a bit special, genuinely special. So as you are now the new Mrs Passmore, Mrs Passmore, joined with Mr Passmore, I would, if you have a glass, grab it. I'm supposed to toast apparently, so I'm gonna toast it. So if you can be upstanding and toast to the new Mr and Mrs Passmore.
The new Mr and Mrs Passmore.
So if you can, but anyway, in closing, you'll be pleased to know you can all sit down. I did promise 3. No, I'm joking. Because of how close myself and Alex have been for so many years, and because of that obvious bond that has been built over time, I must admit, I did have a sneaky suspicion that you would ask me to be your best man. I must admit, I did have a sneaky suspicion. But nonetheless, I was delighted and flattered, all the same when you asked me. But I've got something to confess, really. A big confession to make, really, for everyone here present, that I'm not actually the best man. I am a fake. I'm not the best man at all, actually. And I know I've been called the best man today, but I'm not the best man. And allow me to explain what I mean in this final song, which is nicely called Alex is the Best Man. And this truly is a closing, so. Back in C. Alright. Today I've been the best man, even though I am not the best man. This title belongs to another man. I'm sure you all know who that man is. Yes, he's the one that just got married. Doesn't rhyme, this one. To the woman of his dreams in that lovely dress. And it's not right for me to steal his title, for he's better than I, just like cheesecake is better than trifle. Singing, no, I'm not the best man, 'cause Alex is the best of all. He wins that hands down. And even though he fancies his mom, that title he's deservedly won. And now with Beth, he's got the jewel for his crown. He's singing, no, I'm not the best man, 'cause Alex is the best of all. He wins that hands down. And even though he fancies his mom, that title he's deservedly won. And now with Beth, he's got the jewel for his crown. And now with Beth, he's got the jewel for his crown.